kind of start any bodhisattvas such as this are soon smothered by gain and honor. These are plausible talkers, and with their plausible talk these catch hold of many people. Many people decide to listen to these, imitate what these speak of and show, and consequently do not train in thusness, do not progress in this, do not make endeavors about this, and as well, these further increase defilements. So it is a fact all these deeds of body, voice or mind which these undertake with perverted mentality impels these to a rebirth in conditions which are unserviceable, and do not provide selfless service, disagreeing as disagreeable, unpleasing as well as unpleasant. Consequently, what is seen to be the realms of Mara are overcrowded, i.e. the great hells, the animal world, the world of the Pretas, and the assemblies of the Asuras. As this Bodhisattva considers this sequence of events, one believes it to be Mara, the evil one who is contented, elated, enraptured, overjoyed, exultant, and jubilant. It is not Mara, however, who is given to sloth, this contented unawareness or ecstatic jubilation. Furthermore, Ananda, as a Bodhisattva fights with any person belonging to the vehicle of the Sravakas, or disciples, disputes and quarrels with these, abuses and reviles these, feels ill will and hatred for these, a person comes to think to themselves that Mara thinks surely, this son or daughter of good family keeps away from all knowledge, this one remains far away from this. Now also, Mara is thought of as being even more jubilant as any person belonging to the vehicle of the Bodhisattvas fights with someone else which also belongs to this vehicle of the Bodhisattvas, for he thinks that both these Bodhisattvas remain far from all knowledge. But as a Bodhisattva which has one's prediction fights with another Bodhisattva which also has this prediction, and cherishes malice for one such as this for many eons this one does, as this one may have such an attitude of mind, put on the armor which enables any to struggle against it, unless, of course, one has abandoned all knowledge completely. Still in this, one here sees that it is not Mara, but one's own inclinations, attitudes and disconcertedness, seen as being Mara, which brings these unfortunate circumstances to bear, as well, it will be one's own right intentions and efforts, mindfulness and concentrations which comes to reveal these circumstances as dissolved in equanimity and perfect wisdom. The Bodhisattva's right attitude towards other Bodhisattvas. Ananda, can one escape from these attitudes of mind, or is one definitely condemned to go on putting on the armor for all this length of time? The Lord, Ananda, a Dharma is demonstrated which includes the possibility of escape, for persons of the Sravaka, disciple vehicle, for persons of the Pratyabhutta vehicle, for persons of the Bodhisattva vehicle. As to this person which belongs to the vehicle of the Bodhisattvas and quarrels with someone else which also belongs to the vehicle of the Bodhisattvas, as one does not confess one's fault, does not promise restraint in future, harbors a latent bias towards hate, and dwells tied to bias, this person does not allow for the teaching of escape, i.e. from the consequence of action, but is definitely condemned to go on putting on the armor for any and all lengths of time. But, to any one which confesses any and all fault, resolves true restraint throughout any of the 3 times, and reflects as follows: this nature is to drive away bias, to pacify and appease the quarrels, disputes and conflicts of all beings, yet I myself engage in disputes. It is indeed a loss to me, and not a gain, as I answer back as I am spoken to. As I am to any and all beings a bridge across the sea of birth and death, I nevertheless say to another, the same to you, or return a harsh and rough answer. This is not a way in which to speak. In fights, quarrels and disputes, here I behave as a senseless idiot, or dumb sheep. As I hear someone using offensive, abusive, insulting words towards me, this heart does not cherish malice for these or others. It is not disciplined for me to meet and perceive faults assumed by me or another of others, or to think what is being said or even thought about any faults of others is worth listening to. As well, neither are any which meet and perceive thusly thought of as such. For as I am earnestly intent and intentioned, I do not do harm to others. As I indicate joy and contentment by pointing out any and all things which allow for joy and contentment, I head this way, as these, toward nirvana, yet nevertheless I bear ill will. I truly resolve to not bear ill will even against these which I perceive as having offended against me, and I truly resolve to avoid rage, and I truly resolve by making diligent and persistent effort in this direction. Even as my life is in danger, I truly resolve not to allow a rage, or even a frown to appear on my face. To such a Bodhisattva, Ananda, I teach escape. This is the attitude which a Bodhisattva adopts also towards persons who belong to the vehicle of the disciples. Never to allow anger with any being. This is the attitude of mind one adopts towards all beings. What attitude now does a Bodhisattva have towards other persons avowed to this vehicle of the Bodhisattvas? The same as towards any teacher. One has the attitude that, these Bodhisattvas are my teachers. Surely, these mount on this same vehicle as I, have ascended by this same path, are of like intention with me, are set out in this same vehicle as I. Here these are trained, this is the method by which I train. But as some of us dwell in a dwelling tainted by the ideas of Maras, disciples and Pratyabhuddhitas, I do not do likewise. As, however, these dwell in an uncontaminated dwelling, in mental activities which accord unto all knowledge, now I also train as these. No obstacles can arise to any bodhisattva which trains oneself in this way in all knowledge, and one quickly reveals full enlightenment. End chapter 24.